Hi everyone, this is Daniel Hall, and I am the webmaster at netcreditcardprocessing.com. And I want to share with you my new article, PC-based credit card processing, 3 tips to setting it up. First, I want to go over how it used to be. You see, whether your business is offline or online, you will significantly increase sales and profits when you can accept all the major credit cards for payment of your goods and services. But in the old days, getting a merchant account so that you could process credit cards was a colossal hassle. Generally, you were expected to have great credit and have an established brick-and-mortar type business, basically a storefront. If you were a home-based business, or, God forbid, you were trying to do business online, your chances of getting approved were nil. Happily, as e-commerce on the internet has matured, it has become increasingly easier to set up PC-based credit card processing. This video article is intended to communicate 3 important tips for setting up PC-based credit card processing in your business. By the way, even if you run a brick-and-mortar business or some sort of a storefront with a physical location, it is still advantageous to set up a PC-based credit card processing in your business. Basically, for the simple reason that with that, you can have and do business anywhere in the world that you have an internet connection. That's the beautiful part of that. So you don't have to keep your business in just one physical location. So with that said, I wanted to share with you my first tip. First thing is, choose a processing company that is sensitive to the needs and structure of your business. For example, if you're running an internet-based business, make sure the company understands the nuances of doing business online. A good way to determine this is to ask the company about the percentages of their merchants who have this type of model. Now beware if they quote you a percentage less than 50%. You see, the rationale here is if the majority of their business comes through similarly situated merchants, such as you, it is reasonable to infer that they are a good choice for your business. Here's a hint for you. Are you doing business with them online through their website, or are you talking to an officer at your corner bank? The lesson is, you might want to set up a merchant account through a credit card processor that looks like your own business. That is, if you're online, go to a processor that is doing business online. Conversely, if you are a brick-and-mortar business, you may want to do business with a brick-and-mortar processor like your corner bank. Chances are good for you, and they will both have PC-based credit card processing. Let's move on to tip number 2. Always do business with a PC-based credit card processor who does their own processing and who has an underwriting department on site. You see, the vast majority of credit card processors, online or off, are resellers or third-party processors. I can't say this strongly enough. Stay away from them. There are a couple reasons. First, processing fees will almost always be higher by setting up with a reseller or a third party. Second, and more importantly, using a reseller, you are much more likely to have your funds frozen if there's ever a perceived problem with your account. Here's the horror story that could happen if you don't choose your PC-based credit card processor wisely. You could have a chargeback or transaction over your stated daily transaction amount. In either case, it could raise a red flag for possible fraud in the underwriting department of the company actually processing your transactions. That is, not the third-party reseller. And cause your account to be shut down and funds frozen. You know, as an attorney, I represented businesses where this exact thing had happened, and thousands and thousands of dollars were frozen. It took time and money and legal fees to finally resolve these disputes, and only because I threatened litigation. Case in point, when you do business directly with a PC-based credit card processor who is actually doing the processing and underwriting, that is the fraud detection department, is on site, there is going to be easier communication and a far less probability that your funds will ever be frozen. And I don't think I need to tell you that if your funds are frozen, you can't do anything with them. They don't actually hit your account and you can't use that money. It's a disaster. So always, always do business with a credit card processor that has their underwriting department on site, not a third-party reseller. That brings me to tip number 3. Always ask for as high of a daily sales volume as the PC-based credit card processor will allow you when you initially set up your account. Several of the businesses I have represented had a problem with the underwriting departments because they set their average daily transaction volume too low. What happens is sometimes your business will grow very quickly and you'll start processing transactions over the limit of the average daily volume that you initially stated, and that will raise a red flag with the underwriting department and possibly lead to having, again, your funds frozen. So the solution is to set your limit as high as possible in the beginning and then communicate with the underwriting department before you reach the daily limit. This way, your limit can be adjusted upward and you shouldn't have any problems. Well, that's it for my tips for today. Appreciate you tuning in. My name is Daniel Hall, and I run many internet-based businesses. And I'm also a Texas attorney who has represented merchants having problems with their credit card processors. But I wanted to give you a really great resource. You could head on over to netcreditcardprocessing.com to pick up your free copy of the Secrets to Getting a Merchant Account with no setup fees, no contracts, no application fees, low transaction fees, no hassles, and get this, 99% of everyone who applies is approved. So head on over to www.netcreditcardprocessing.com and get yours now. This is Daniel Hall. Talk to you later.